Every sea turtle starts life with a journey. They are laid on the same beach as their ancestors. Then, 2 months later, they hatch and make their way back to the sea. Today, we are making a figure inspired by these brave little hatchlings' daring and dangerous journey. I'm taking about 1/4 of a 2-ounce brick of forest green clay. For reference, I will be using Sculpey Premo clay for the entire project. Let's condition it to make it workable. Now that our forest green is nice, conditioned, and workable, we are going to take about 1/8 of a 2-ounce brick of white clay. I'm going to condition it and then add it into our forest green to make more of a sea green color. Conditioning the clay is the process of making it workable. Comment down below if you would like a video explaining and demonstrating this process. Look at that color. It's such a beautiful shade of sea green, the perfect color to represent our turtle's home. Okay, so now I'm starting to form this sheet into a ball, but instead of clumping it together, I'm being careful to stack the clay in order to prevent air pockets from forming inside your work. Then you can start compacting and rolling it to create a nice even sphere. After you have your ball, I am just pressing it against my workspace to create a half-circle dome shape. Can you guess what this is going to be? Comment your guess. Have you written it yet? Okay. If you guess it is our baby turtle shell, you're right. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to split its shell in half, trying to be as even as possible. After I inspect them, I am taking my favorite of the 2 halves, and that will become the front half of this turtle shell. The other half I am setting beside in a clean spot so that it does not collect any fibers or debris while I'm working on the shell. I am smoothing down the sides to create more of a shell-like shape. I do have to make sure I am leaving the middle completely alone to prevent myself more work in just a moment when I add the bottom half of the shell. Now that's done, and I'm taking the other half and splitting it into 3 pieces. Out of this, we will make the head and 2 front flippers. This extra step ensures everything will look nice and even at the end. Let's make the first flipper. First flipper is done. Now I'm going to place it with the shell to make sure everything is looking nice and proportionate. This is something I highly recommend doing constantly as you are making a piece that has multiple parts to it. Take the time to make sure everything looks right before you continue on. Let's make the second flipper. Again, I am taking the time to see how my design is going, play around with placement of the parts, and just make sure everything is looking proportionate. Let's make her head. Okay, she now has half her body and is looking great. I'm going to inspect each part and remove any little debris that are on the surface of the clay. I use rubbing alcohol and Q-tips before baking my pieces to remove any dust or stained coloring, but I also clean them as I go, removing any larger debris that are on the surface and easy to remove. I now brought in a block of gold clay. This is the color we are going to use for the bottom half of our project. I'm going to use 1/4 of the 2-ounce block, the same amount we used of the forest green. We are going to use about 1/8 of the 2-ounce block of white. Again, the same amount we used before, and thoroughly condition and mix these colors to make a lighter shade that resembles sand. Our colors are conditioned, blended, and are looking very sandy. Let's repeat the process like before and make the bottom half of our shell. The shell is now connected. As I'm sure you saw, as I was connecting the two halves, I started dragging the sea green color with my tool onto the sand color. This is the beginning of making waves. Now I'm going to take some white clay, roll it out very thin, and use it to make the white bubbly part of the wave as it crashes onto the beach. I am being very careful to line it up perfectly with the sea green color so that they will morph into one line once I start dragging the white. So I am taking my tool, which has a soft and flexible tip, to drag the white onto the sand. A little bit of pressure is necessary, but be sure not to indent your work. I also want to make sure that the edge touching the sea green color remains a nice line so it creates the perception of the wave moving in the direction of the beach. Now that the first one is done, let's make 2 more following the same process. Okay, let's add some sandy texture and connect the rest of the pieces. Moving right along, I added some texture to her front flippers and added some waves to those as well to make her upper body look unified. Here's how she's looking. I really like her so far, and I'm very excited to see how she turns out. Comment what you think down below. Let's make her back flippers. So for these, I want them a little larger and wider than her front flippers so that they are distinctly different. Okay, so whenever I said I wanted these larger and wider, this is not what I meant. These kind of look like potatoes. Let's try again. Okay, that is much better. Let's make her tail. So for the tail, I tried a few different styles, but eventually decided on just a simple cone shape, which I think brought the design together. I also scooted her back flippers farther in and then connected everything together. Now that she's in one piece, let's clean everything up and add some nice texture. Looking good? Now let's add her eyes, her mouth, and her cheeks. Done. Now we're going to use this aluminum foil to make a... Oh. To everyone still here, thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, please hit that like button below and subscribe to see all future videos. Don't worry, this is a setback, but we can fix it. As I was saying, I'm going to use this aluminum foil as the core for a rock that the turtle will be fearlessly climbing over on her way home. I used around half of a 2-ounce brick of slate gray. I made it into a thin sheet with my pasta machine and wrapped it around the foil. It worked so well, and the bumps of the foil made it look just how I imagined. It came together very fast and did not require much effort at all. Now it is time to very carefully place our turtle onto the rock without breaking off any more limbs. I had to be very careful at this stage because she was not yet attached to the rock and could break very easily. Let's place her head on and... She looks wonderful. Now we just have to make sure everything is nice and attached so we do not have any more mishaps. After connecting her and adding a bit of detail to the rock, she is now ready for her finishing touches. I'm using my extruder to make a long, even, thin coil of white clay and using that clay as a rim for her shell. Just like we did for her waves, I'm dragging the white towards the middle of her shell for a nice matching look. A few more touch-ups and she's done! Look at that cute face. There's how she looks, and here she is in her baking dish. Notice that I am using a tissue for support during baking. Comment down below if you would like to see a video about baking your pieces. Also, I added a few little seashells on her back. And here she is, all finished. If you have any ideas for future projects, comment that down below. I really enjoyed this project, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!